up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown Podcast. This is your boy AD coming in with the fellas. We got Jules in the building. We got C Roll in the building. We got Mike G in the building. How y'all doing, fellas?
Good.
Good.
How's it going?
Good.
All right. News of the day. Well, we're gonna be talking about a few things. We're gonna be talking about CJ Stroud, the superstar. Superstar CJ Stroud has been talked about every day on multiple platforms. We're gonna talk about the Laremy Tunsil interview that he had with Pat McAfee on Friday, and we're also gonna talk about our own special defensive breakout players for the Houston Texans in the 2023 season. But what do y'all want to talk about? Y'all, I know we talked about pre-show about the Alvin Kamara news that just came out. Alvin Kamara beat the charges, beat the allegations, got his charges dropped, and for that misdemeanor, was it a misdemeanor felony? Whatever it was, he got those charges dropped for beating that boy ass. And now we all on the wait and see if he gonna get suspended. So what are y'all thoughts about that?
Same thing would happen to Devontae Adams.
And
They
you
play the chorus, and they'll get paid some kind of settlement to be quiet.
Mm.
lesson learned, man. You run your mouth, you get your ass whooped. You get your $100,000. Get your $100,000 and you go home. You know, that's lesson learned.
That's expensive ass whooping.
That's a big time ass whooping. They got it out of them with them pictures. It looked like they got that $100,000 out.
Mike,
you watch the straight of these boys.
Hey, what's your thoughts, Mike G?
I mean, this happened a year and a half ago, which is crazy. He just kept delaying it over and over. And, I think we all expect a light suspension, anywhere from 2 to 6 games. But, hey, for the people that have been drafted him already in fantasy leagues, they're looking pretty good right now. So,
yeah. I'll throw one other thing in on the real note. Don't let Twitter and his TikTok and all his abilities, all these platforms that everybody that think that they can jump on these platforms and talk all this crap on the platform, don't think you can do that in real life, man. These guys are human beings. They're competitive. And if you bother them dudes, you might get chin checked. Just leave them cats alone. Let them be famous. You don't have to challenge them every time you see them. They're not on your level. Stop trying to bring them down to your level. Just embrace them as guys that you can see on Sunday football and let them be, man. Let them guys be. So I'm glad Kamara is getting off with a little bit lighter of a sentence. Some of the pro athletes, you got to know how to restrain yourself when you are approached with these type of guys. But for the public, stop trying to put yourself in those guys' places. These are humongous athletes. They're very competitive. There's a lot of testosterone flying around, and they're quicker than you think.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I said it before on the podcast before. When I went up there in that Texas meet and greet and I saw Laremy Tunsil and Titus Howard, I say, y'all some bold motherfuckers, man, because they be talking all that shit about these dudes. These dudes in real life are, gigantic paws. They are big men, and I don't know, man, because I've seen some of y'all in real life, and I've seen them in real life. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's right.
But let's talk about CJ the superstar, man. CJ Stroud has been all over everywhere. I think they had a video package where they were talking about him this morning. I think it was this morning on Good Morning Football on NFL Network, and they talked about CJ Stroud and what he brings to the team, him and D'Amico Ryans, and how the Texans could potentially surprise some people and be sneak in as a playoff team. And it's just everywhere you go, whether it be teammates, whether it be himself, CJ Stroud is growing and growing as a superstar. I think he went to that party. What was it? What's the guy's name? Mark. What's that all white party he went with Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian and all of them, and
the betting website.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
That was some type of dude to deal with the gambling sites, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It was his birthday party, and CJ Stroud was there, and he was there like he belonged
Yeah,
amongst the superstars with Jay-Z, Beyonce. You
yeah,
know, I mean, you name it. Anybody that popular, you name it, was in that in attendance, and CJ Stroud was there, you know, as well. And I think this weekend, this Sunday,
Mark
CJ
Rubio.
Stroud, Mark Rubio,
Ruben. Yeah.
Ruben, no, Mark Ruben,
Mark Ruben.
yeah. CJ Stroud was at Dick's Sporting Goods and you know in Katy and shut down Katy. Couldn't fit all the people in the door trying to get to see CJ Stroud. Can only imagine what it's gonna be like with the training camp coming up in 15 days. So it's about to be wild, man. CJ Stroud is the superstar, and he, you know, every like I said, teammates are asked consistently. Laremy Tunsil was on the Pat McAfee show, and they directly asked him about CJ Stroud.
yeah.
So, you know, Laremy Tunsil did an interview with Pat McAfee on Friday, and they asked him a myriad of questions and talked about D'Amico Ryans, talked about, you know, him taking the team out for a you know, a team get together, kind of, you know, breaking the mold that offensive linemen do that as leaders of the team. And he's, you know, talked about at length about CJ Stroud and his what he's brought to the team so far since being drafted to the Houston Texans. What are y'all thoughts about Laremy Tunsil's interview?
I mean, I thought it was well written. I thought what they were trying to say was pretty much what a lot of cats been saying about CJ for the past OTAs, mandatory training camps, involuntary camps, weight days. Everybody pretty much saying the same thing about him that this cat, if he does everything correctly, he's going to lead this team to many games and further than we ever been in Texas history. So he's legit. He's a legit guy. He just got to prove on the field.
Yeah, we got it up here, you know, and that's the, you know, Tunsil gotta censor it so we won't get put out on YouTube, won't get video won't get cut off. But yeah, that's, you know, Tunsil talking to him.
Well, let me
Um,
paraphrase what he's saying up there.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
on it's captioned.
The type CJ Stroud. He's a dog. You know, and it's good that he has these leadership qualities. He stepped into the building, skills, and he's killing it, man. Like how describe CJ's a dog. He's a straight.
He said right there, he comes in ready to work. He handles the huddle perfectly. Go out there and balls, man. Look, it's right
And
there.
I mentioned
Casey
again,
playing it.
he is a dog, man. So he's a dog. I only play with dogs. I don't play with cats. So we got a bunch of dogs. CJ is the lead dog. No, but it's good when you got somebody like a Laremy Tunsil, who is a no nonsense type dude, and he's embracing a young guy that walks into the locker room. You got to have some moxie to impress that type of dude. You know, we're not just talking about football players. We're talking about multimillionaires too. So nothing really shakes or moves these guys. And then when you talk about football talent, they've seen the best of the best. Larry Tunsil is all pro, should be. He's been Pro Bowl for many years. He's been the best of the best in college. He's seen the best in the pros. He shut down the best of the best in the NFL. And so when he gets a young guy like a CJ Stroud that walks in, I think that just it opens his eyes and it opens a lot of guys' eyes that's in that locker room to say, hey, we got us another guy in here who's a dog who we're going to be able to rely on. So I think it's great for Tunsil to have that guy in the building.
But Chris, we already had Davis Mills.
Yeah, I've never seen him call him a dog. Did he ever call him a dog?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's ever called him. Did he call him a dog?
Hell no.
Maybe a female dog. No, let me stop.
Maybe a giraffe. I don't know.
Tyrod Taylor was a dog.
Hey,
It's a different feeling to go from the feeling you get when you play with Deshaun Watson, and then he's gone out the building, and then you have to go to a Davis Mills. Just the aroma in the building. Just the atmosphere change. Let me stop that pause. Just the atmosphere change is something that Laremy Tunsil is appreciative of, man.
You
Tunsil
talking?
appreciates the money he got too.
Oh, of course, being the highest paid tackle twice in a row.
Yeah, and he knew what franchise would give him the most money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
there's been some speculation that he might only be here a few more years. He's
Mhm.
still in his prime, still killing it, especially as a pass protector. But that he doesn't love the game as much. And then he's asked, how much longer you think you can play? You think you can be still here in 10 years? He's like, absolutely. So I think
Mhm.
he kind of put those concerns to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was a very good interview. You kind of get a look on the inside of Tunsil, who finally is kind of getting the recognition that he's great, deserved over the last few years, and he's being put, I don't want to say put on a pedestal, but he's being put in a position where he's being recognized and shown the respect that the league has given him for years. Everybody's respected Tunsil for years and he's been highly regarded. It's just now that he's getting the national attention and people are finally getting to see his personality, his cool, calm, collected, laid back, personality. I mean, it's just who he is. He's just a chill guy. He ain't out there in these clubs. He ain't out there in these streets, doing what he do or
Uh,
doing what most do, you know. So I mean, we know he like the bongs and he like the smoke. That's why he don't have no eyebrows, so he won't get busted and he won't get suspended. If that's all you, if that's the only thing you got about Tunsil, man. Other than that, dude is an upstanding guy, man. It was noted that he took 15 single mothers
Yes.
out and
Yes.
gave them spa days and did a lot, for them. And he I think he gifted them some money as well, which was a very charitable, thing to do and something that doesn't get recognized. That if he wasn't getting this national love that he's getting, probably would have never been talked about. But it's something that he does on a regular, and it's just something that's finally getting highlighted. For him coming from a single parent home. So
It's
shout
awesome.
out, shout out to Laremy Tunsil, man. Great interview on Pat McAfee. Y'all see it up here. Y'all go ahead and check it out on YouTube, man. Great interview from Laremy Tunsil. He did talk about Will Anderson, who is, one of our breakout defensive players, man. So we gonna go right into that, man. So this is what we're gonna do. We did it last time. We everybody picked their offensive player, but the defense was so good last year. We're gonna give some honorable mentions and we're gonna talk about a few other players as well. But we're gonna start off, Jules, are we gonna talk about your hated player or we gonna wait to the end and talk about your hate for this player?
Hey man, I don't have no hate for this player. It's just that everybody keep pumping this cat up and he ain't done nothing.
So the player that Jules hates with a passion is Jonathan Grenard. Jules hates Jonathan Grenard with a passion. I don't know why. Nobody knows
You don't
why.
know why, Jules. What's going on?
Nobody knows
Talk to us, Jules.
why do you
Hey,
hate why do you
the
hate him?
reason?
all I'm saying is the cat ain't gave enough games, ain't played full season.
Okay.
Uh, he mad because he ain't getting respect, but you can't stay on the field without respect. I mean, I didn't understand the pick when they first picked him because he to me he was a in between guy. He wasn't really had a natural fit in the position of a 3-4 or 4-3 defense. He kind of sit there between. To me, he ain't no more than Whitney Merciless. You know how I feel about Whitney Merciless. So he's a
Yeah.
guy.
The
And once they
disrespect.
and once they
Disrespect.
once they drafted Will Anderson, that was his ticket out of here. He ain't coming back next year. We're not gonna pay him top dollar or any top dollar when you got your future on your left side.
Look
But
at that
Jules,
spin move. Look at that spin move there, Jules.
let's be real, Jules. Jonathan Grenard was a third round pick?
Right.
Right.
What high dollar was he gonna command
I mean, so
as
so
a third
so
as a third round pick that's been injured the last few years?
that's
Like
what I'm trying to say. So,
nobody.
but I don't see the love fair. He gonna break out. He gonna have a great season. His potential's unlocked. He show you what he got so far.
Jules, he has a lot of potential, man. Like
Yeah,
why you
on the
saying he
bench,
don't have potential?
on the
Like that
bench, he
that
has.
potential,
On,
but
on, on the dress code,
That
he got a lot
Jules,
of potential on the sidelines.
That potential makes him a breakout player because if he maximizes his potential, you're talking about a double digit sack guy. I'm not saying he gonna have 20 sacks or even 15, but I do think he can get 10 in the D'Amico defense.
Jules,
He ain't got 10 yet because he's healthy. So I think
He got 8 in 8 games.
yeah, then he got hurt again. So he's an incomplete player.
so don't that speak to potential though?
I can keep getting hurt every year.
Okay, here's my question to you, Jules. If he didn't do such well under David Culley and Lovey Smith, and now that he's got D'Amico Ryans, does that not speak that to the point that he could have a breakout year this year with better coaching?
Let's see. He had racked his first year with eight sacks. Then he got hurt. Then he had hurt season the year before that. Then he got hurt last year. So yeah, he can break out. If he can stay healthy, he can break out. But as far as for me, he got to stay healthy. If I can come any kind of depend on him to do anything in his defense. If he can't stay healthy, I don't care about it.
So injuries are a part of the game, right?
Not every year though.
I understand.
Every year you get hurt.
Will Fuller was a great player, but the nigga couldn't stay healthy.
Who?
Will Fuller was a great player, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Is he the Will Fuller of the defense?
So I can't. So
That's what you want to call him.
But I couldn't depend on Will Fuller every year. If you go into a season depending on Gennard or Will Fuller to be a impact player, knowing their history of getting hurt every year or pulling hamstring in, you setting yourself failure. And that's what happened to the Texans, depending on Will Fuller to be number 2 to Hopkins because he got hurt every year.
You don't necessarily hate the player. You just hate the fact that he's always getting injured.
Right. I told you, I don't hate the player. I can't rely on him. If I can't rely on you to go on the war with you.
So do you put him in the same position as like a Nico Collins?
Yeah.
That's a parallel comparison. That's a parallel comparison, Chris. Both third-round picks, both injured every damn year. Both has a lot of potential. Right. Both has shown flashes of being that guy.
And the only reason people are pumping up Gennard or the same reason people pumping up Nico, it's a different offense system, or we got CJ Stroud here, or he got Will Anderson on the other side. But the cats still got to stay healthy. They still got to make the plays and be more consistent like they play. Has he been consistent though? When he has played?
He has not been. He has not been consistent. I agree with you, Jules. He hasn't been on the field long enough to be consistent. He hasn't been able to be out there 16 games to show the consistency. But when he is there, he shows flashes. And I think that's what most people are referring to when they talk about having a breakout years, because he does show the flashes, and we want to see more of the flashes on a consistent basis. The question is, and I think that is him, his agent, his mama, his girlfriend, everybody that loves him is telling him, hey, brother, this is a make it or break it year.
Yeah.
Either you stay healthy and have a good year, or you could fall into the depths of a journeyman defensive end who never gets a good paycheck.
Like I said, we are beyond the point that we can fade somebody who's often injured and hoping they'll re-sign them and hope they come back. And we're past them. We don't have time to wait on a guy who might have potential. Just like Michael Brentley in the Astros. I hate to change subject, but why sign a guy who already had surgery on his own and not knowing he's gonna break? Now he missed the whole season because you used to seeing him because he has potential or he could bounce back. We ain't got time for that. We in a rebuild mode. We got to find the players who gonna be here for the next 5-10 years, and we know we can rely on. We gotta rely on these dogs.
Yeah, but I mean, but my thing is, he can at the very least be a rotational player, right?
If he want to come back for minimum, I have no problem with that.
What's the you talking about vet minimum?
Vet minimum.
$2 million.
Jules, he make more than that right now.
But he ain't earned it though. He make it, but he ain't earned it.
But Jules, he not even making like $3 million. Like there's nothing. That's chump change. He was a third-round pick.
That ain't chump change.
Not to us, regular people, but in the NFL.
To them, you can make less than that.
Like I said, and also, and then you call these cats that are make or break years or their contract years, and you worry about it. It's a one-hit wonder. and I don't want to get tossed up with somebody who made it work 1 year, but then to come back the next year he hurt again or he don't come to Central. We don't have time for that right now.
Yeah,
This organization is moving forward.
I don't know. We gonna see, man. I have high hopes for Grenard, man. You Jews, you shitting on him, but I do have real high regards and
I,
hopes
I,
for.
I stopped sitting on players a long time ago because I don't like the situation. I like to get hurt. I just can't rely on. I can't rely on them. You gotta show me. You gotta show me something.
Hey, the next player we're gonna talk about in our honorable mention, man, is Christian Harris, who rightfully so had an excellent year. Coming back from injury and played damn well and took that starting role and rolled with it. What are y'all thoughts about Christian Harris and what he can potentially bring to this? Is he D'Amico's Fred Warner?
I don't think so.
Do you
Yeah, I
think
don't think so either. But I do like him. I think he progressed over the course of the season. I mean, and it's not like he was surrounded with a lot of help there. I mean, run away from contact linebacker Christian Kirksey was actively teaching him what not to do, and we had Grugier Hill there too. So he had to kind of learn himself because I don't think Lovey was helping a lot either. Um, so it was a new defense for him, obviously. He missed a lot of time in camp trying to recover from injury. But I thought he did pretty well, and obviously second season under and first year under D'Amico, we got a lot of hope in him.
Can you rewind that last play? Any way to rewind that last play? See, when Mike makes fun of Christian Kirksey, it's not just because we're being rough on the guy. Like this next play, he doesn't know where to go. He's the captain of that defense. He just called out the scheme. See Christian Kirksey? He don't know if he's going to the left or to the right, and it's a rookie that makes the play. So when you talk about is Christian Harris going to have a breakout year? I think so, man. I mean, to go out there as a rookie and to perform in a defense with Lovie Smith, who holds a lot of restrictions on the linebackers, who forces them to be in certain situations. I wouldn't say, what is the guy that's from San Francisco, the linebacker everybody trying to compare him to?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner.
I wouldn't say a Fred Warner, but maybe an Al Shaziz. I think a guy that can run around and play that outside part, the wheel linebacker or the Sam linebacker spot. I don't necessarily think he can be that middle linebacker. He's big enough to do that, but I think you take away from his ability to run and to fly around. Although we don't know what Ryans has planned for him, but I think if you give him his talents and his skill level and put it in the hands of D'Amico Ryans, I think he forms him into a Pro Bowl linebacker. I mean, he moves so good on the field. He's pretty instinctive, and he just to get a little bit better coaching will only elevate what he did as a rookie.
Right.
I'll leave that there. I think he's going to be great this year.
Dude, the player you hating Grenard, but you need to be hating goddamn Christian Kirksey. Like Mike has taken that page and ran with it, and we all are in agreement. Christian Kirksey is the man you hate. Not damn Jonathan Grenard. Jonathan Grenard get hurt, but the motherfucker can play.
Right.
Christian Kirksey don't get hurt and he still can't play. So like I'd rather have a motherfucker that can do some of the time than a motherfucker that can't do nothing none of the time.
He actually ran towards the contact on that play, and I'm shocked. Usually he looks like Indiana Jones running away from the big ball.
Hold on, look. He doesn't catch the tackle. He still gets blocked twice.
Oh man, he fell down. He avoided contact. He hit the ground. That boy barely. Who was that? That was the Kelsey barely touched him.
The tight end came around on him.
Yeah, but I'm saying the center was reaching for him. He barely touched him. He hit the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, man, and I don't want to shit on the guy, but I don't see how D'Amico Ryans can walk into no film room and watch 3 games of this guy and still think that he should be on his roster. I just don't get it. I don't get. Maybe it's because they don't know how healthy Denzel Perryman is going to be. Maybe he's recovering over that pectoral injury. But how do you sit there and watch the film over? And when Michael says he runs away from tackles, he literally runs the different direction to where the play is going on numerous plays throughout an entire football game, and it's embarrassing. It's hard to even criticize him because he does it on a consistent basis. So
Yeah.
we
I
need to find his replacement.
I told you, Chris, he has a nice edge up, and he got them veneers.
Veneers, man,
and they love him. They love his personality.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a real good guy. He's great in the community. I mean, his communication skills are great, and he's probably a great leader in the locker room. But on the field, I think for what we need, whatever it is he's got has passed him up. And I don't want to say it in a negative way, but I'm trying to say
double entendre. Yeah, it's like he passed up them players. Them trying to make a play.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe that's the reason they drafted Tunsil, is to take his spot. You know, they signed Denzel Perryman, they signed Corey Littleton. So does that squeeze him out of that position? Because if we go into this season and he's our starting middle linebacker, I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
I mean, highly disappointed.
I'm gonna be like DJ. I'm gonna burn his guy.
I'm burning jerseys around this camp, man. We got there's a couple players that if you see, we talking about defensive breakouts. There's a couple players that are if they are on the 53-man roster, I'm upset. Like Roy Lopez, Christian Kirksey, Eric Murray,
Scott Quisenberry.
If these guys are on the roster, I don't mind them maybe squeezing on the what you call that?
Practice squad.
If your old ass can make the practice squad, that's cool. But if you're taking up a 53-man roster spot, the fellas, for people that don't know, 53-man roster is 3 of the people on the 53-man is the kicker, the punter, and John Weeks, the deep snapper. So that only leaves you with 25 players on both sides of the field. And in reality, you don't get 25 because you only get 48 on game day. So you don't get 50. You only get, 23 and 23. Or whatever the number is, my math ain't mathing. But the fact is, you've only got 25 roster spots. And if you're filling them with players that you emotionally are tied to, that aren't producing, we're doing the same shit that Houston, Texas have been doing for years. It's time to dig into the bags of not friendship, but it's a business, man.
It's time to move on. Eventually we have to move on from locker room, culture guys and having these guys on the roster just because they're culture guys to build up the culture. And at some point you have to have the culture set.
Yeah.
And whenever that is set, you have to move on from these guys because you paying them money, high dollar, to not do anything. Eric Murray and Christian Kirksey, example, I think combined, if you release them, you get $8 million in the cap. So I mean, it's unnecessary. It's a misuse of funds, if we want to talk about it. But Chris brought up that name multiple times. My personal breakout player, and I keep people saying breakout. Denzel Perryman for this team can potentially take this team to another level from what he does as a player, man. People want to say, well, how can he be? He's a veteran. He's played in the league and this, and that. That ain't what we really talking about. We talking about breakout players for the Houston Texans. It's somebody that's going to actually show up and show out for the Houston Texans this year and break out in that form and fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up.
Is that your guy, AD?
Yeah, that's my guy. My guys, I got two of them, but I'm gonna start with Denzel Perryman. You know,
He's a big
that
culture guy too now. He
he's a
talks about
culture
that
guy.
locker room, boy. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, but he can play. That's
He
the
can
difference.
play.
He can play. He can play. You know, first play knocked the shit out of Dak Prescott.
So
Everybody
that's
love that.
we
He
need to
wasn't
sign
afraid of
him up
contact
too.
either. Look at that.
He is
Yeah,
fast.
knocked the shit out of him.
I thought he was one of the hardest hitting linebackers coming out of Miami.
Uh huh.
When he came out in college in the draft, I begged the Texans on Facebook, go get Denzel Perryman. He is the monster. I think he cleaned some. If you could find the highlight in college of this hit, I wanted to draft him off for the one hit like Clowney. He just hit. He just hits everything in sight. He loves contact. So that's the opposite of your guy, Mike.
Yep.
Hey, Denzel. The thing about it, I think it was a stat that was brought up on Twitter. I think the 33rd had brought it up. He
Mm-hmm.
was ranked, I think, third last year in coverage at the linebacker position. I think what was I don't have the stat on hand, but I think it was like a 40 something completion percentage against him in coverage. I think it was like 44% or something like that completion percentage, which is damn good, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody would expect that from him. You know, people thinking that he's just a thumper and just a run stopping, linebacker, but he's actually pretty damn good in coverage as well, which makes it more intriguing, this upcoming season and what he's going to be able to do in the D'Amico defense and why D'Amico kind of pinpointed him being one of his linebackers.
Yeah, you could say hellified player.
Hellified player, hellified player. Keyword, people. Hellified player.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think his coverage skills are underrated. The stat may be a little inflated, but
Yeah,
he looked
yeah.
good in coverage last year, and obviously he's an even better run stuffer. So this will be a very nice change of pace, and he's one of only a few guys that we brought in who are really going to help this run defense this year.
right, right.
Oh.
To back up what you were saying, I think it said he is number two as the most effective coverage linebacker. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the ratings was 62.3 passer rating allowed,
Mm-hmm.
4.1 yards per target, only one touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the thing was, he wasn't necessarily known for his pass pass coverage skills. He was more known as a downfield thumper. But for him to
Yeah.
improve in that area is great.
Yeah, of course, man.
That's a good.
So, I really do, you know, I'm really excited to see what Denzel Perryman is gonna bring to this linebacker core. Him, Christian Harris, and I think Corey Littleton will probably be the other linebacker.
Okay.
Just those three guys, all three of them are athletic as hell. All three of them are, especially Christian Harris has the speed to go sideline to sideline. So is Littleton has the speed to go sideline to sideline. So they all complement each other, and I think this is the first time we actually have three linebackers or a core of linebackers that actually complement each other in all phases of the game.
Right.
So really, really excited about him. I'm gonna talk about my next player. Now, people ain't really said much about him. When we signed him, it was a big deal. Everybody, oh shit, you signed this guy, gave him a decent 1 year contract, made the headlines and everything because he was part of that 2 hitter quarter with Dalton Schultz, if I'm not mistaken. Was it
Mm-hmm.
him? No, was it? It wasn't
That was Singletary and Schultz. It was like 10
Singletary.
minutes
Okay,
apart.
okay. Okay, but I know it was right around that time though. It came like a day before
Mm-hmm.
the Schultz and Singletary signing. So man, Sheldon Rankins, man. Sheldon
Mm-hmm.
Rankins has been a player for years, and he
Mm-hmm.
comes in something that we desperately needed.
Mm-hmm.
Desperately needed was somebody up the middle. We've been talking about it for the last 2 years. And Sheldon Rankins, man, is that guy. These highlights are from him with the Saints, but he played damn good in that Robert Salah defense in New York. And it's just like, come on, man. We finally got somebody up the middle that's worth a damn and that's shown and proven and can do something productive in the run game. And he's an excellent pass rusher in the defensive tackle spot, along with Malik Collins, who he just extended as well.
Yes, sir. It was an underrated signing for sure. It wasn't Quentin Williams, obviously, but this is still he's still an asset. Obviously, he's 29, so still relatively in his prime. It's a pretty solid duo. Him with Malik Collins, who obviously got an extension. The stats obviously don't pop off the screen, but watch the film. He's just a disruptive interior pass rusher, and obviously defends the run pretty damn well as well. So our defensive line is going to look a lot different from last season. A lot less salsa this year, but we're going to have a lot more reason to celebrate.
Look, man, some people wanted to put that man on as they breakout player just because he was showing some workout videos and pictures on YouTube and Instagram. Hey, y'all get on with all that. CDL man can go ahead. Everybody know who it is. Texans Twitter know who he is. CDL man can stay where he at and drive them trucks on down to El Paso somewhere. And
maybe even pursue the WWE.
Hey,
you know the crazy thing about him? In between the last year when he was 305, they said he got in shape and he lost weight and he went down to 295. Now they got him listed at 315. So what's going on with him?
You believe it when I believe it,
right? But he's definitely not my breakout player. I think those are some great selection of breakout players. AD, I think your guy Rankins is, again, like you said, he's kind of like a secret weapon. Somebody that a lot of people are recognizing that came to the Texans that's going to add a lot of stuff for the Texans. I would even call him a clone of Malik Collins.
Yeah.
It's like two twins playing opposite of each other. Just the ability to pass rush with the interior pass rush, I think is going to be something we haven't had. Sometimes we'll get one guy that can pass rush, but not two guys. So I think there's going to be a good change of pace.
They both play with intensity, and they both play with anger, which is something that we had too many damn nice guys.
That's right.
Thomas Booker may be a player later on, but Thomas Booker is a very, very nice guy, and he does not seem to want anything to do with violence. And that's something I don't need on the defensive line, especially defensive tackle position.
Correct.
Bring me in some more nasty. I need the Warren Sapps of the world. I need somebody that's crazy, that don't give a fuck, that's really willing to shut shit down. So that's what I want, man. As my defensive tackles, and those guys bring that attitude to the team. Eventually, we will, hopefully, we will draft a defensive tackle that that's early in one of these rounds that's worth a damn, and hopefully we will sign a defensive tackle, a big name defensive tackle eventually. So
right.
Were you suggesting that he plays with a reckless abandonment?
Yeah, first step too.
Hey, yep, and violent hands. He plays with violent hands too. All of those.
All of the above, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I was going to talk about was that even correlates what you're saying, playing angry with Denzel Perryman. I think that's something that could hopefully rub off with Christian Harrison. If you go back and look at the 49ers last year, every single time those linebackers made plays, the other linebacker would jump on his back and celebrate with him. They play with energy, and I think that comes from D'Amico. So once D'Amico transfers that energy to these guys who already naturally have that energy, that is going to energize the entire defense. And to go with that and to stick with that for my breakout players, I have one, but I'll go the one I really like, I'm going to say second. The one that just popped into my head when you was talking about these guys was Hassan Ridgeway. He was the other defensive tackle that we brought in. He was a little bit of the bigger boy, I thought. I thought he would play more of the one technique than the three technique. He's more of a run stuffer. With Collins and with Rankins, you get a lot of interior pass rush, but the only thing that we're going to have to wait and see on is the ability to stop the run in the interior. Malik Collins, his specialty is pass rushing, but can he stand strong when it comes to rush defense? Same thing with Rankins. I think Ridgeway is the guy that gives us the run stuffing ability, and that's Hassan Ridgeway. He played with D'Amico Ryans in San Fran. He played in Philly as well. You're going to probably see more highlights in Philly than anywhere.
Yeah.
But he's just a mauler. He will overpower guys. He will push you back
right
into the laps. There you go. He'll push you back into the laps of your quarterback, and he gives you that interior pressure that you're going to need up there, plus the run stopping ability. He's angry. He's pissed off. And we haven't seen that in Houston in a long time. So, we haven't been able to enjoy that. And I think that these guys, with the help with D'Amico Ryans, is going to bring that type of attitude to our defense. Hassan Ridge, and when you talk about rotating your rotation and having to rotate players in, you don't get much of a fall off when you rotate with Hassan Ridgeway in. So it's not like going like last year. I mean, imagine this: we started Roy Lopez and Heinisch, a rookie, an undrafted rookie free agent, along with Roy Lopez. And Heinisch did what he can do. He gave his best all, and I think Heinisch outperformed what anybody could expect from him. But Roy Lopez was on roller skates. Every offensive line had that boy, 5 yards back. He never made things in the backfield.
Chris, how many times we watched on all 22 World? We counted how many times he was on the ground, man.
He was on the ground every other play. And it was embarrassing. It's not like we just talking the talk. We actually watched the all 22 as a group. So there's like 10 or 15 of us. We'll watch the all 22. And every single play, we'll watch every play from the end zone copy and the sideline copy. And we'll stop it and rewind and we'll be like, wow, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, my God, did you see this? And it was just embarrassing what we were seeing from these guys. And there's nothing we could do about it because who do you sub in? Booker? Who's the next guy that you rotate in? Guys you didn't even know.
They shouldn't be playing on Sunday, man.
They shouldn't be playing on Sunday. So now what we're getting is we've got two studs that's in there to start, and then you sub in guys like Ridgeway. And me personally, I still think we need one more D tackle, but I think they're giving Booker, they're giving Roy Lopez, they're giving Heinisch, they're giving them one more year to show if they can be a part of that rotation.
But don't be surprised if a trade or a player gets cut and becomes available. And don't be surprised if they pull the trigger on that, which I think that's what they're kind of waiting on too. It's something that Nick Caserio does, all the time, is that he waits to poach, when the cut season comes. So be on the lookout. I think we will be getting a defensive tackle at some point after roster cuts to add on to 53.
Right. So for breakout player for that, I know it's called a breakout player. We haven't seen Hassan Ridgeway play with the Texans, but for us, it's going to be a breakout defensive tackle to see this guy paired up with those other two guys. And then my original breakout player is another guy that we haven't seen yet that I think breaks out, and it's Jimmy Ward. We've got Jalen Petrie, who's getting all of the great recognition that he deserves, and he probably deserves more. Let's admit it. He should have made the Pro Bowl last year. He should have been rookie first team. Was he rookie first team?
Who?
Jalen Petrie.
Yeah, I think he made the all-rookie team.
Yeah, he deserved it. I'm not sure if he did or if he didn't, but he deserved almost to be on the Pro Bowl. I think he had 100 and something tackles, 5 interceptions. He just really did everything he could do to help out back there. This guy here, Jimmy Ward, can play in the slot. He can cover tight ends. He can cover receivers. Last year, they asked him to cover receivers, and he didn't get pissed off. He didn't throw a fit for the most part, from what we understand, and he played at the slot corner position because they already had a safety that came in after he got hurt.
They played well.
That played well enough for them to say, "Let's get the best players on the field," and you're a guy that we want to get on the field to pair up with the guy. His best stats of his career came while playing for D'Amico Ryans. In 2021, he had 77 tackles with 2 interceptions. Last year, he had 50 tackles with 3 picks, with 3 interceptions. And that's playing the slot and the safety position. He's a communicator. He talks a lot of shit. I love that. He talks a lot of shit. He's going to have Petrie's mind right. He's going to have the cornerbacks understanding, hey, look out, stay wide. I got anything, come over the middle. They're going to be able to communicate a whole lot better. They're going to be able to talk with each other. And that's big, understanding D'Amico Ryans' defense. So he comes in here and he knows the terminology off day one. There's not going to be a misstep. And to go from Eric Murray, right, Mike?
Yeah. and Mr. Biles.
And Mr. Biles, Mr. Miss every tackle you can miss. To go from those guys to Jimmy Ward is breakout enough, man. I mean, the kid is just going to be, I call him a kid. He's 31 years old. He's the vet. He's going to be the leader back there in the secondary. And when you put together a Stingley, Jimmy Ward, a Petrie, and you find Steven Nelson over there, hopefully Steven Nelson's got his shit together. Steven Nelson, we love you, Steven Nelson. We want you to be here. Don't go about it the wrong way, man. You're going to make your money, man. Don't worry. Show out, get paid after you show out, man. Don't worry. We want, if he's together, that's a pretty good foursome. And then you come off the bench with Desmond King, with Xavier Thomas, with the Shaquille Griffin. I mean, you come and what is his name? MJ Stewart. You come off the bench with those guys. You talk about rotation. You talk about depth. That's one of the best depth squads in all of the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jimmy Ward is a breakout player for me. Jimmy Ward, where's Jimmy Ward from? Is he? I know Hassan Ridgeway is from Mansfield, Texas. So the Texas ties are back. And I think that's just going to be great, man. That's my breakout player, bro.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward is from Wisconsin, man.
Never mind.
He was born in Wisconsin, but he's from Alabama, man. He's from Alabama.
Yeah, that's why I thought Alabama.
Oh, Roll Tide represent again, huh?
Roll Tide, baby.
Ain't no Roll Tide. He played high school in Alabama. He went he played at Alabama.
You got to fit that in when you can, man.
Mike, who is your breakout player, man?
I mean, breakout players. Like, I think we all recognize what the biggest strength of this team is, aside from, the coaching improvements. It is clearly the secondary. And you've got a couple of breakout stars. I don't just mean breakout candidates. You've got a couple of breakout stars that we're about to see. And that's not even accounting for Ward, who's going to be a tremendous help to everybody in the secondary, because you're going to have a guy back there who's very experienced, very versatile, who's very good in coverage, a ball hawk, and an excellent run defender. And it's going to allow Jalen Petrie to really be himself, play the way he wants to play, and not have to worry about, oh no, what's Eric Murray doing back there? What is Mr. Biles doing over there? Oh, missing another assignment. Like, he's going to be able to play free in this D'Amico scheme, and he is going to. I mean, obviously, he had 147 tackles last year. Should have made the Pro Bowl, like you said. He is a hit machine. Jalen Waddle, the Dolphins receiver, and obviously the Texans are going to face the Dolphins in the preseason, and then also in the practices in training camp, and he was praising Petrie a week or two ago, talking about how good this guy is because he saw him last year. Petrie, man, the sky's the limit. This guy's going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
Yes.
What's crazy is that I had a lot of doubts about Petrie. I felt like he was kind of redundant. Um, at that point, I thought we had a lot of players that can do similar things, but Petrie showed me this season, man, he can do a lot more, and there's a lot more versatile, and he's a player that is all over the damn field.
Yes.
Everywhere you look at, he's there.
Yes.
And that's something that you love in your defensive players. Somebody out, D'Amico said it. He wants his defensive players, especially his secondary players, to always be around the football. And that's exactly who the hell Jalen Petrie is. He's a guy that's gonna consistently find the football, see ball, get ball type of player. Ain't afraid of contact, thank God. And look at this shit, knocking the
Look,
hell
it's
out of
Derrick Henry. Look at
Yeah.
that.
so that's just an example of what the hell he's doing. People gonna play that on replay because I know they love that play right there, picking off the Sean Watson. So, I mean, he had how many interceptions he had? Like 5.
5 picks, I believe. Yeah.
And I mean, just reading the defense. I mean, showing instinct, doing things that I wasn't expecting him to do, and he proving me wrong, and I'm happy that he proving me wrong.
That's right. Well, I don't think he necessarily. For me, it wasn't that he proved me wrong. It was that I wanted Breece Hall at that pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was the second round pick, and I seen Breece Hall. We needed a running back, and I was just hoping Breece Hall was going to be there, and he was there until the pick right before that. New York jumped us and took Breece Hall, and it pissed me off. So it wasn't about being upset with the Petrie pick. I was just upset we didn't get Breece Hall. When we took Petrie, I started watching some game film, and I kind of was like you. This is kind of redundant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need more D linemen. We need more linebacker play, and we went after another safety. And whoever was scouting this kid, whoever made the choice to get him, deserves some credit because he probably should have went in the first round.
Yeah.
He really should have. And, I was a big fan of the pick at the time. Obviously I didn't love our D-line talent or depth at the time, but I saw the skills on film. He really stood out as a versatile guy. I did question exactly how we would utilize him, but I knew he was a playmaker. Forget Tyrann Mathieu. We got our own honey badger now, and he's here for the long haul. But I will say nobody was more excited than Jordan Bunn, who obviously had to go out and get that fake jersey. So
the Fleetmore jersey that you got. Yeah, no, man. King Fleetmore jersey.
Everybody's happy with the success of Petrie.
What you say, Chris?
I said that was the littlest jersey I ever seen in my life. I hope he got a new one for him.
Yeah. Look, he posted and got roasted and flamed on Twitter so bad Jalen Petrie gave him a signed jersey, man.
The signed jersey, man.
Signed jersey, official signed jersey by Petrie, man.
In their business card, say anytime you buy a jersey, don't go back to wherever you went to get that first jersey. Whatever you do.
Leave that alone, man. Leave that alone, man. Shout out to Jalen Petrie. A couple more players I want to talk about, man. You talked about the secondary. You got to keep that going.
Yeah.
Derek Stingley, man. Derek Stingley.
Yes.
That's the guy that we need to go ahead and talk about, man.
Yes.
And I'm gonna bring him up now so we can really. I think it's so much untapped potential in Derek Stingley that we didn't get to see because of Lovie Smith and because of the injury. Like Derek Stingley is gonna be a animal, man. He has all the talent, all the ability to, he's gonna break out for sure. It's not even a breakout because it's expected, man. He's gonna do some things that I think he's gonna finally be put in a position to do great things. D'Amico's gonna use them correctly. We all talked about it for the whole year. How Lovie Smith put him in zone and just misuse him. So Shout out to Derek Stingley, man. He's gonna be another guy. I'm excited to see in this secondary that's gonna solidify this secondary. Be another hellified player, man. Another hellified player. Anybody, y'all have any other additional thoughts on Derek Stingley?
I do. I mean, essentially, the way he was underutilized by Levy and obviously the injury, which was the only concern I had about him pre draft. But with him returning healthy and being used correctly, it's essentially we got three top
Mm-hmm.
three draft picks this year
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and three team leaders who are going to be here for the long haul, ready to make a big impact. So I'm excited about that.
I agree with you. I just think it was such a shame how they used him last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had to sit here and listen to all the Sauce talk and the Sauce Garner's this and that, and we knew we had probably the better cornerback over here. And
Mm-hmm.
not to bring that subject up, but I was looking on Twitter World today, and they was going at it, man. I jumped on the spaces and was it Garner?
Yeah,
Garner?
Sauce Gardner, Asante Samuel Jr. were beefing, and they brought in the woodworks with Darrell Reeves and Gardner's CJ. Was it
Yeah,
CJ
CJ
Gardner
Gardner
Johnson?
started the spaces and I hopped on there, and they was just going at it, man. They was just this and that, but that shows you the competitiveness of this league and of these cornerback positions. Everybody wants to be the best, and if you're not put in a great position to be the best, it kind of hurts the growth of being the great cornerback because he's not getting the recognition that he deserves because he was in a horrible system last year. I mean, he played zone like 90% of the time. We didn't utilize him correctly. But I think this year we're going to see more of that from our guy, Stingley. And I just can't wait till he does have a breakout year this year. So it's going to be wonderful.
So one player that we didn't talk about that we have to talk about, and Mike said top three players on the defense. We can't go without this episode talking about the defense without talking about the great, the almighty Will Anderson, man.
Yeah.
We cannot. Our number 3 overall pick that we traded the world for. That's about to, light the world on fire. Has gotten rave reviews in camp. They love him in Houston. Nick Casario wanted to kiss him on the lips when he drafted him.
Yeah.
Will Anderson.
I think he bought him a sweater vest.
Bottom sort of is a Will Anderson. All bullshit aside, man. Will Anderson is going to be a game wrecker, man. I think he has the ability to do so, and I think that we all have faith in D'Amico Ryans and his defensive prowess and his defensive scheme. And I think we at this point we just have a feeling that he's going to do things the right way and the correct way. We mentioned how he's going to be able to use Stingley in the correct way, how he's going to be able to use Petrie in the correct way, and as well as Denzel Perryman, Christian Harris, how he's going to benefit all those players. Will Anderson is another one that I think is going to benefit greatly from D'Amico Ryans. The pressure, I don't think, is on Will Anderson. And I think because the pressure is not on him, he's going to produce a lot, man. He's great in the run game, and he can rush the passer, man. They love to bring up the stat, man. The stat nerds love to bring up the I don't know how many was 100 and some odd pressures over 3 years at Alabama that they love to bring up. So he's always, he's another see ball get ball player that D'Amico wants and D'Amico kind of talked about. And you see the quick burst, and they talked about how quick and fast he looked in training in a mini camp and everything. So it's just a wait and see what he's going to do in training camp, and hopefully we can see those live reps against Tunsil and Titus and see what he does, and especially in the joint practice against the Dolphins, man. So it's a lot of eyes that's going to be on him, but I really don't think the pressure is going to be on him. He's going to be a productive player this year. I'm not expecting a big stat number like everybody expecting 10 plus sacks or whatever, but I do think he can get you 8. He can get you 6 to 8 sacks this year and be a disruptor. Kind of in the Clowney mode, But I don't think he's Jadeveon Clowney. But I think he can be in that mold. Anybody else got any more thoughts on Will Anderson? Going once.
Roll Texans.
Roll Texans going twice, man. But shout out to Will Anderson. I feel like he's gonna break out this year. And kind of prove his worth as being a number 3 overall pick, man.
Mama said if you don't have nothing good to say, keep it to your damn self.
Hey, so
No, I don't know. Yeah, I'll let it pass. I'm just gonna.
hey, man, hey,
All I think about is all them picks. That's all I think about. You know what I thought about today too? When I was thinking about all the picks, not only did we lose a lot of picks from the choice we made to move up to get them, but if David Njoku would not have caught that touchdown pass in the fourth quarter, I believe it was against Atlanta. No, it was against Tampa Bay. In the fourth quarter, with like 30 seconds to go on fourth down, Deshaun Watson connects with David Njoku for a touchdown, game-winning touchdown. If they lose that game, the Browns would have selected at number 6 or 7 instead of number 12. So it might not have cost us that much to move up from 6 or 7 to 4
to 3.
To 3. Then it would have, and we could have kept maybe that second round Mike and got your boy JMS. How much better right now would you feel having JMS next to Shaq Mason? Come go with me, Mike, down the wonderful journey of the wonderful imagination of having JMS.
Yeah, we were live on a space during the draft, various spaces, and I saw JMS go, what was it, 55, 56 to the Giants, yelled a few expletives. And then, we trade up. We trade up in the second round for center, and I almost threw my phone live on that space. But I got hope in Scruggs.
Hey.
Yeah, we good with
Scruggs. And hey, he's a team captain, like all but one of our picks. He's a team captain.
All of them are team captains.
They love the team captains, man. So, hey, shout out to everybody watching this video and this episode, man. I appreciate y'all. For
and share, like, and subscribe, man.
That's right.
Please like and subscribe. Hey, ring that notification bell. Now, this is the part of the episode that y'all need to stay at the end and watch because we are giving away 2 training camp practice tickets for the Miami Dolphins joint practice game, and we are giving away 2 tickets to the Cleveland Browns Christmas Eve game. So y'all, please pay attention. Listen to the podcast. Listen to the key words. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to run a space this probably this weekend. We're going to run a space and we're going to give out the details. And we're going to post it on our Twitter at the H-Town Rundown as well, the details. So y'all, please like, share, subscribe, follow, and watch these videos. Follow all of us on social media as well. And please don't miss out on your blessing on some free Texan training camp tickets and free Texan game tickets from the H-Town Rundown, man. So y'all go ahead and just pay attention. Watch these videos, comment, share, like, subscribe, do all of the things, hit the notification bell that you need to do so you can get you some free tickets, man. Don't miss out on your blessing. So this has been another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AD with my co-host C. Roy, Mike G. Shout out to Jules who had to pop off, man. But at the end of the day, we want to thank y'all again. And this we'll see y'all on the next episode, man. Peace.
What's up?